Boxing King Media in association with Boxro. Johnny Nelson. Johnny, how you doing, mate?
I'm all right, thank you. You know what? I've turned into a proper little fanboy. Walked in, Shannon Ryan's here. I'm following that young girl's career from the off. Even when I saw her doing the public workout, I went, yes, I. So her second professional fight on the 11th. But she signed up with, is it 24 AJ setup? Yeah, 25-8. So, but you know everything about this young girl. You know, I like it. So I'm just happy to be on the beginning of their journey, the other side of their journey.
Yeah, it's always nice following fighters from the start. I'll just touch on a couple of the fighters on this card. This guy I've got on the June the 11th. Chris Congo fighting Sebastian Formella, who was a former opponent of Conor Benn and Sean Porter. Obviously, neither of them guys were able to stop him. So, obviously, you've been in that position before. What kind of step does Chris need to make?
It's a good measure for Chris because obviously you saw what Conor did. I saw Conor actually the other night, and you know that Asian man is developed, and we've seen him develop into the fighter he is today, and I'm quite sure there's a lot more to come. This will be a good measuring stick to see where Chris Congo is in regards to somebody like Conor Benn, which potentially could be a decent domestic dust-up at least. So and see if he can do the same kind of job or manhandle Formella the same, at least bottom the same. But again, it's a good measuring stick.
How much do you reckon the inactivity will have affected Chris? Because over the years I was looking, I think in 6-7 years as a pro, he's only had 13 fights, for various reasons, promotional, management issues. Does that affect a young? He's 29 as well.
29, but when you talk about being inactive, you got to. That's publicly. You know, these guys are still in the gym. These guys are still active, doing what they're doing in the gym. So the only thing they're not doing is performing in public. So and again, you know that'll be the only difference. But performance-wise, I don't see why it should make a massive difference in their performance if they're prepping right in the gym.
Zach Chelly is another guy I want to talk about, fighting Jermaine Brown. Zach Chelly's record's pretty extraordinary because he's had his 12th fight, and out of the 12, 10 of them being guys with winning records, most of them undefeated. That's pretty remarkable, isn't it?
Not many fighters do that. Not many fighters, and that's why you've got to respect Zach Chelly, because if he's willing to do that, if he's willing to risk and go in with fighters with winning records, you know, this means he's for real. They've not padded his record out, his resume out. And so to me, I just think, again, it's a good way to start off, and you're going to get the respect. Jermaine Brown better respect him, because if he doesn't, you know, he's going to be another win for another win on the record.
How do you think that fight goes? Because obviously Jermaine's undefeated as well, and Zach, from his record, he just starts aggressive, finishes aggressive.
You're going to go past form, and you look at Brown, you look at Zach, and that's a good close fight. I'd probably lean towards Zach, because there's a chance he's someone that's gone in there and fought people with winning records. That means he's not fought pushovers. So to me, I think that's a good one.
I don't know if you know this, but Zach, his last fight apparently was fasting. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. And again, if you're fasting, you know if you're fasting. I do it just on a Monday. You know what I mean? And your head's not in, your body's not. If you're fasting, you know, in Ramadan, and you've got a fight coming up, that's like a big shout. But it shows like you got a good soul, man. He's got a good soul to actually push through that kind of thing.
Main event, Richard Riakpo against another top fighter. He's another guy that's fought a lot of undefeated guys, cleaned up domestically. How far do you think he is from that Lawrence Okoli clash, a big London derby?
Well, they say every fight's an eliminates, and every fight's in preparation for that world title fight, and that's what he's chasing. He can't afford any slip-ups. Every fight is as important as everybody else's, but he's got to make sure he doesn't slip up. He's got to improve every fight. He's learning on the job in preparation for not just winning the world title, but for keeping it. Everybody thinks it's all about winning world titles. The real job is keeping it.
Just going to move away from this show. Did you watch the video with AJ and them students at Loughborough University?
I did. Don't blame him at all. What happens is, on social media, all of a sudden everybody gets brave. You saw Mike Tyson on the plane. Some guy heckling, giving a hard time. Mike just turned around and asked him, would you do that to anybody else? Would you heckle somebody else? So just because they're in the position they're in, you're thinking, I can do it now. That's a coward's way. That's what cowards do. You know, because you know I can't do nothing back, you're going to heckle me, you're going to give me a hard time, get in my face, because you think I can't do nothing back. So what AJ did, big respect to him, because it just makes these cowards, these keyboard warriors that won't say nothing to your face, that's happy to type it out, you know, it stops them to thinking, you know, I better just have some manners, have some respect. Doing that sort of stuff to me is like, just because of the job you're in doesn't mean you're free, you get a free shot. I wouldn't handle it. You know, I'm only human. AJ's human. Mike Tyson's human. So why would these individuals not be bothered by being heckled or being harassed by someone? You wouldn't do that to somebody known in the street.
Well, do you reckon there's a risk on his part? Because obviously, you know what the media's like. They can jump on stuff like that. They can build people up and they can break people down. I've seen some of the headlines, you know, trying to put a negative context on it.
Listen, if the media turn on him for something like that, then you can see that it's divisive what they're trying to do. Because I'm quite sure those writers, the media themselves, they wouldn't take that sort of stuff. They wouldn't stand for that sort of stuff. So why should AJ? Why should Mike Tyson? Why should anybody? So don't give somebody a hard time for actually standing up and saying, you know what, stop that shit. You know, that's not right.
Last question. Yesterday was the 4th anniversary of Brendan Ingall's death. Just a quick word on the legend himself. You know, share a story. I like always share a story.
You guys put out an amazing old school video and of Brendan, and what Brendan was all about. Everybody thought it was about the champions he produced, but it was actually about him, the community, the kind of guy he was, and an amazing guy to. You saw him going about the community. You saw him with like a young version of me, Naz's brother Ali, you know, Thomas Bradley, all the old boys that were there. That's what it's like. And he said, "Come on, boys, we're going. You've got to come with me. I want you to come to businesses and talk to these people and let them see who you are and appreciate what you've got." An amazing man. 4 years yesterday, he passed away. And you know what? What a guy. What a guy. But thank you. Big respect for putting it out.
We'll leave it on that note, Jenny. Thank you.
Thank you. Anytime.